Hi, welcome to Talkable Tips. These are quick videos for busy parents. And today's video is all about autism or ASD and the early signs that a little one may have autism. And I'm guessing that's why you're here, because maybe you have a few questions about your child's development. So we'll go through what autism is and those early signs, and I'll show you a bit of typical development so you can kind of compare and just see where your little one is at. But most importantly, at the very end, I'm going to show you what you can be doing right now, today, in the days, weeks, and years to come. All of those things that are really going to help build your child's communication. All right, so what is autism or autism spectrum disorder, ASD? Well, it's just a totally natural variation in the way that some people's brains work. And it's super common. So we know that 1 in 40 kids will have a diagnosis of autism, and it affects boys more than it affects girls. So about 4 times as many boys will have autism than girls. People with autism have difficulty with social communication. So that's the way we use communication to interact with people. And it's not just words, but it's all that non-verbal communication too. So body language, eye contact, using gestures, everything that helps you connect with other people. People with autism also have sometimes restricted or repetitive patterns of behaviour or interests. So they might be really interested in a particular topic. For kids, it may be a TV show or a particular toy. To receive a diagnosis of autism, it has to be present from really early on. So from early childhood, these difficulties need to be seen. And these things need to have a significant impact on the way a person lives their life and interacts with others. Kids receive a diagnosis of autism when the way they're presenting with their communication and their behaviour is not better explained or explained by something else. So they don't have global developmental delay, or it's not explained by an intellectual disability. Remember that most kids are really unique. So as you're watching the video, think about all of your child's communication and social interaction, as well as their interests and patterns of behaviour, because it's not one single thing that will give your child a diagnosis. It needs to really be consistent patterns across all of these areas. Let's talk about social communication. So the things we're looking out for when we're wondering if a little one may be on the autism spectrum are things like, do they consistently use eye contact to get your attention or to share experiences with you? Do they point to objects and hold them up to show them to you? And do they again make eye contact to share that experience? How consistently do they respond to their name being called? Now we know all toddlers can get busy and can ignore you, but really by 1.5 to 2, they should be responding to their name consistently the second time you call it. Do they use facial expressions and smile back at you? Do they copy the actions of other people? So it might be imitating the way you brush your hair or the way you brush your teeth, or imitating what you look like when you're cooking. What about the sounds they make? Do they babble with you? Does it feel like you're having a bit of a back and forth conversation, even if your little one isn't talking yet? Or are they not babbling at all? And following simple instructions, we really expect this by about 18 months. So being able to do things like point to their nose or find their hat, those really simple instructions. What about your child's behaviour and the way they play? That can give us some idea about what's going on for your little one in terms of their development. Are they interested in you and other people? So do they like playing games like round and round the garden or peekaboo? And do they engage in pretend play? So when they've got their teddy, are they pretending to feed the teddy? Are they brushing the pretend dog's fur? Are they enjoying playing with their cooking set and things like that? How does your little one manage when there's a change to the routine or it's time to move on to something new? That can be really hard for little ones with ASD. And finally, are there any repetitive movements? So sometimes children with ASD will flap their hands, or they may wave their hand in front of their face, looking at the way it changes light. But this will look different for all kids. And as I said, it's not one single thing, but a pattern of behaviours that are really starting to impact on the way they play, socialise, interact, and generally enjoy life. And the final area we're going to talk about is sensory. So sometimes children with ASD can be more sensitive to things like bright lights or loud noises, or sometimes textures. So they might find particular clothes really uncomfortable or hate having their shoes and socks on. This can also translate to eating. So they might not like particular textures or flavors, and they might be a bit restricted in the variety of foods that they're happy to eat. On the flip side, they can really love some sensations. So they might enjoy big swinging movements or spinning around in circles. So they might actively seek those kind of things. The signs of autism really start to appear as children start to interact socially. And that's really from the time they start babbling at 6 months. And some children may get a diagnosis as early as 18 months. But typically, children aren't diagnosed until they're around 2. And for some children, they won't get diagnosed till much, much later because their social communication skills and their sensory behaviours and other behaviours, I guess, aren't quite so obvious. As I was preparing to make this video, I came across an app called ASDetect, and it's been put together by an Australian university that's done a lot of research in the early identification of autism. This might be something you're interested in taking a look at. It's basically a way you can check some of your child's early communication skills to see if maybe further investigation into whether your child has autism is going to be the right path for you. And if you do want to get more advice from a health professional, then have a chat to your child's GP or your child health nurse about some of the things you're noticing in the way your child communicates and some of the behaviour that maybe you're not quite sure about. These people will be able to get you the referrals you need, either to a paediatrician or to a range of other allied health professionals like speech pathologists or occupational therapists or psychologists who could all help you develop the skills to support your child's development. All of that aside, remembering that autism is a very natural variation in the way that some people's brains work, you don't need to wait for a diagnosis of any kind to be able to help your child. You can start today, and the things that you do, the earlier you do them, the bigger impact you're going to have on your child's communication and their later success when they get to school and beyond. It's all about building your skills as a parent so that you know how you can modify the way you interact with your little one to maximize their language learning. And there's some world-class research that's been done right here in Perth, WA, that shows just how important it is to get in early. This study looked at some children who showed some really early signs of autism, were involved in an intervention program, and that program helped them, the parents, understand the best ways to communicate with their child. And after 3 years, so when their child turned 3, results showed that those children had built some really fantastic social communication skills, just proving that getting in early is really important. So if you want to know how to tailor your interactions to really help your little one, and I'm guessing that's why you've made it this far in the video, then check out my online course. It's called Talkable Babies and Toddlers. It's low cost and shows you 10 evidence-based strategies that will help build their communication. It's 20% off at the moment for the first 100 families who sign up using the code ASD20. The link will be in the description below. So check that out. It's going to really help get you on the right path and help set up some amazing communication opportunities between you and your little one. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. As I always say, when you like the video, it helps me get these videos out to more parents who are just like you and really want to help their little one's development. And if you don't want to miss a video, they come out every fortnight, then please remember to subscribe with the notifications on.